Adama and Uzo were married for over 15 years, but Adama discovered that Uzo was cheating on her and decided to stop sleeping with Uzo. When Uzo made all the advances trying to see if Adama would sleep with him, Adama refused and went about her business. Each time Adama was in her shop, Uzo would try to see what he would do to bring Adama home. Adama would only come back when it's time for her to cook and retire to bed and feed her children. When Uzo became very furious and decided to bring the matter before the elders. The elders had tried to settle this case, but Uzo was adamant at what the elders had asked him to do and was confirming that he's the man. He still insisted as being the man Adama is supposed to submit to him. The elders had made him to understand that a woman's sexual urge is different from that of a man. It takes a lot to put the woman into the mood. So if you decide that you want to do anything with your wife, you need to come to terms with what she had asked you to do. All Adama was trying to say is that she cannot share a man with people she's not sure of. So Uzo went into the hospital to do a routine check. And Adama had mentioned that except Uzo does a routine check, a comprehensive check, and also tells her everything that has to do with his HIV status and other diseases, sexually transmitted diseases, that she had treated a lot of diseases in the past, and Uzo would still insist that he does not have an affair with anybody. But what he does not know is that Adama is aware of all his escapades. She knew, but she never confronted him for any day. So when Uzo discovered that Adama was talking to some other man, not that they were dating, Uzo became very jealous. Uzo began to set traps for Adama and the other guy. But when Uzo saw that Adama was always, talking to this guy by her shop, he began to send people to spy on them. The spy came back with the report that Adama was not doing anything with the man. The man was just a customer who comes to buy from her. Because most times when he comes to buy, he fills his car with different things, with different products that he buys from Adama. So they became very close and nothing was happening. Uzo said the spy was lying because Adama must have, given him some money. And the spy gave up and never went back again. Uzo looked for some other guys who were from the north and asked them to go there pretending to buy something and speak to the other man, because the man happened to be a man from the north. And when they got there, they spoke to the man and they were asking the man how he knew Adama. He said Adama was just a customer, somebody he patronizes because she is a good woman and she sells her things at an affordable price. And then the guys went back to Mr. Uzo. They had spoken to Uzo, telling Uzo that this man has nothing to do with Adama. The Uzo refused to believe it, and Uzo went on his own to confront the man on another day. And when he got to the man, they shook hands and he began to ask the man what he's doing in the wife's shop. The man quickly asked him, "Is the shop not for a place where people come to buy? Why would you ask me why I'm here?" And then Mr. Uzo now began to make problem. The man tried to leave. Uzo dragged this man from his shirt and began to ask him questions. "What are you doing with my wife?" He asked him, if you didn't want your wife to be, in the public, then do not allow her to sell to anybody, because as far as she's doing business, she will definitely interact with people, both old, young, and male and female. Uzo became very upset and left the premises. On reaching the house, his wife got home and discovered that Uzo had packed her things and kept in one corner of the house. And when Uzo asked that she should leave the house, she said she was not going to leave the house because that was not the agreement. She's not leaving. She did nothing. And when Uzo went back again to her people and began to tell them all that had happened, Adama came to defend herself. She defended herself, and the elder still told Uzo to go settle his home, and because he's the man. That's shouting that he's the man will not cut it for them. That if he wants Adama to leave, to be his wife and do what she's supposed to do, let him act like the man. Uzo had already told the Igwe of their village that the wife has refused to sleep with him. And the Igwe made him to understand that a woman's sexual pleasures and sexual fantasies are different from that of a man. That for a woman, what you think that will move her will not move her. So you have to come to her terms, come to her level, to explain things to her and reassure her that you are not cheating. Mr. Uzo was not taking it seriously until he saw the wife speaking to the same man that he has accused her of dating, and she was not sitting in front of the car but standing beside the car to collect money. And that was how Mr. Uzo came and began to bang on the man's car, insisting that the man moves the car out of that place. So when Mr. Uzo got home and the wife got home, he started ranting that he has to close down the shop. And the wife had said that she cannot close down a shop that helps her, because Mr. Uzo, apart from all his numerous girlfriends he gives money, Uzo hardly drops money at home. She has to use the money from the shop to fend for the house. So immediately Mr. Uzo began to ask the wife again for sex, and she said she was not going to give. Mr. Uzo told the wife that she would either leave or die. She would either leave his house or die in his house. And when Adamma heard that, she quickly told her family members that in case anything happens to her, they should hold her husband responsible, because the husband has been asking for sex, yet he is going about with different diseases in his body that he's looking for who to dump it on. And she has refused to allow that happen, because the husband refused to do all the comprehensive tests she had mentioned that he does before they will start having any sexual intercourse. And Adamma stood her ground. Her people asked her to leave the marriage if it's beginning to threaten her well-being and her mental health. Adamma insisted that she was not going to leave, that she has been with Uzo from when Uzo had nothing, and she was going to stay in that marriage until she sees her children grow and become something. That leaving that marriage will bring another woman in who would now turn her children to slave or make their father not to take care of them. Like now, he only pays school fees while she feeds the children. Let him handle that. At the moment she lives with the children, the husband will not be able to take care of them anymore. He won't pay fees. She will now be the one to handle everything. One of our friends who had called Adamma to say that Adamma should leave the home, Adamma was adamant and refused. So one day, Mr. Uzo planned with some assassins to come, kill his wife. And when they got to his house, they didn't meet his wife, and they went back. Uzo had made issues with them, troubled them, and said they didn't want to kill the wife, that the wife must have paid them. Not only for him to get home and discover that his wife never slept at home, she had gone to church. When Uzo saw that, he became very furious and called the guys and told them that the wife was not at home, that he was sorry for accusing them wrongly. That was how Adamma came back and met some people in the house. So before she got into the house, she heard some voices, but they did not know that she was already, hearing what they were saying, because she tiptoed into the backyard and overheard their conversation. So Adamma left. The mistake Adamma made was that she was not supposed to sleep in that house that night. But Adamma slept in the house that night after she had told her family members what was going on. She slept in the house that night, and then those people came in and killed Adamma. They thought they had killed Adamma because they hit her so hard and left. It was the husband that completed the job. But when police came for the investigation, they saw that the husband's hand, they did a forensic examination and saw that the husband was part of was part of what killed Adamma, because what she was holding, the forensic examination showed that the husband's hand was on that weapon. And then from that, they began to investigate, and the man took them to all the people he brought to kill Adamma. And when they asked Mr. Uzo why he killed his wife, he said the wife refused to sleep with him. So the police now began to ask him, why would your wife just refuse to sleep with you just like that? He now started narrating everything that happened from when the wife discovered that he was cheating, and the wife stopped sleeping with him, and they arrested Mr. Uzo, arrested the hired assassins, arrested everybody that was involved in the case, and they charged the matter to court. When they charged the matter to court, Mr. Uzo was given life imprisonment, that he can never be bailed. He was just given life imprisonment. All the other guys that he took to that place, they were all given life imprisonment. They will never be released. They will die in prison. And this story goes to show that a lot of people are in marriages that they don't communicate. Your marriage should not be a war zone. And if it's discovered that a man is threatening to kill you, leave the marriage. You're not tied. Your umbilical cord is not tied to that marriage. Leave. Leave, to leave. ILIVE. That's leave, to be alive. So you cannot. Okay, now that Adamma is dead, now that she's dead, is the husband not going to, if the husband was still alive, like he was still moving freely, was he not going to still remarry? So it's better to live and be alive for your family. than stay in a marriage that is abusive and violent just because you want to prove a point and you're